الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
أما بعد. In today's khutbah, coming to many of you who are parents and talking to them as a parent, I don't know how the words are gonna come out, but regardless of how they are gonna come out, it is coming from someone who cares for the coming generations. And whenever there is something that has an impact on the coming generations, it becomes my duty to come and give a khutbah, talking to my beloved brother, hoping in Allah that Allah will help me deliver the message and deliver the message in a good way, in the right way. Before I go to my message, to start my khutbah, I want to start with few intellectual arguments. One argument or two or three, and then you tell me, are these intellectual arguments, are they correct or are they incorrect? Did I make a mistake in the way I am thinking, yes or no? Let me start with the first argument that I'm gonna make over here. This is my phone. I have two apps on my phone. They are basically doing the same thing. You can say there are two apps for checking salah time, two apps for checking the weather. It doesn't matter. I have two apps on my phone that are doing the same functionality. App number one and app number two. App number one, I use it a lot. I use it many times every day. But app number two, although it is doing the same functionality, I am not using this app at all, or using it very few times. When I am using app number one a lot, there are some problems in this app. Because I have been using this app 10, 20 times every day, I know there are some issues. We call them software bugs. So because I'm using this app a lot, I know there are 10 software bugs in this app. But in the second app, I am not aware of any bugs because I'm not using this app at all. Now the conclusion is, app number two is better than app number one because I'm not aware of any bugs in app number two. Are you following my argument? Is it correct or is it wrong? Two apps on my phone, I use one a lot, I do not use the other one. Because I use this one a lot, I am aware of many software bugs in this app, but I'm not aware of any problems with the second app. Conclusion, app number two is better than app number one because I'm not aware of any problems in the second application. This is the first intellectual argument that I am making. Are there any flaws in my logical thinking? Yes or no? I'm gonna leave it for you for a few minutes. Now I'm gonna make a second dangerous argument. And do not assume that I agree with the second argument the same way you cannot assume I agree with the first argument. But I am gonna mention the second argument just for the sake of getting to my point. If I stand over here and say, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, may Allah be pleased with them, the generation of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are bad. They are not good. And I can give you a lot of mistakes the companions have done. So I am making the conclusion the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam are bad. Do you want to get examples of their mistakes? I can give you a long list of mistakes made by the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They are the ones who disobeyed during the battle of Uhud, or some of them. They are the ones who left their positions at the mountain of archers and they went down. They made a mistake. And I can give you a lot of mistakes from the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So my conclusion, the companions are not good. They are bad. Now my third argument. Imagine all of us, everyone over here. We went on a picnic, and as usual, I ask the youth, the younger generation, you are gonna be preparing the food. You are the ones who need to serve your parents. So we selected a subset of the youth. They started cooking. And then, when we started our meal, we made the conclusion. This subset of youth, they are the worst youth on the face of earth. They burned the burger, the pasta is soggy. So my conclusion, they are the worst among the youth in the community. Those are three arguments I just want to make to drive my point home. Here is where I am struggling. As I have been mentioning in many of my khutbahs, working with the youth, our job, our act of worship to Allah is not only to pray and fast. Our worship to Allah is to make sure that the coming generations that we are responsible for are praying and fasting. The same way those who came before us conveyed the message of Islam to us, we need to give the message to the coming generations. You know that I am spending most of my time working with the youth. But whenever I get a message, yeah, but those youth, they made mistakes, so they are bad. Whenever I get this message, I need to make stop. And I need to give a khutbah to share whatever in my heart with my beloved brothers over here. Let me backtrack again to the first argument I made. Yes, I have two apps on my phone. One I'm using a lot and I am aware of its problems. But there is another app that I have never used. This is why I'm not aware of the problems in the second app. The first app is tested, so I am aware of its problems. But the second app is not tested at all. We don't know how horrible the second app would be. At least the first app, we know the problems. We can give feedback to the software engineers to fix it. But the second app that we have no clue how good it is, there is no way of making it better. The second argument, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are the best generation. They are the best creations of Allah after prophets, and this is our aqidah. And anyone who would attack the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it is an act of kufr. Whoever insists on saying something bad on any of the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam becomes kafir. And we do not compromise in our aqidah. This is the aqidah that we got from our predecessors, and we need to convey the aqidah as is to the coming generations. Yes, the companions of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made mistakes, and Allah made them do the mistakes, so the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would correct them, and we would learn after them. Did they do mistakes? Yes, they did mistakes. They did many mistakes, but they did not repeat the mistakes. They did not repeat the mistakes. There was only one Uhud. There were no two battle of Uhud. Whenever the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was giving the Jumu'ah khutbah, and there was a caravan passing by, and many of them left the khutbah to catch the caravan, they made this mistake once, but not twice. And this is why they are the best generation. They were tested. We were not tested. We cannot tell. If you and I were on the mountain of archers at the battle of Uhud, we don't know. We are like application number 2. You and I were not tested, but they were tested. They made a mistake? Yes. Did Allah forgive them? Yes. Did they repeat the mistake? No. Did they learn? Yes. Did we learn after them? Yes. Coming back to my point, and by the mercy of Allah, whatever the youth in my youth organization have been doing is amazing. And I am not the one who comes and keep praising the people and saying, yes, you have done. No, for me, I'm looking to the negative side more than I'm looking to the positive side, so that we can correct them. My youth, they are doing the job that is gonna prepare them to be responsible adults. Probably a year ago, I gave a khutbah in this masjid, and we fundraised after the khutbah, and I told you we need to fundraise to make a home for those youth. Home that is going to be managed by our youth. Home that is going to protect the deen of our youth. May Allah reward you the best for your generosity. And we have been doing this in multiple masjids. And we have done a fundraiser that was done by the youth. What is different between this organization and other masjids or other organizations? Other organizations, they hire professional speaker to come and raise the money and to go emotional. He is a professional speaker, and usually he would get part of the money for himself. This is not what we are doing. They have done everything. It is the bunch of youth who are between the age of 10 and 20. They are running everything. And I was approached by many of the dads and moms and whatever. Are you sure they will do it? I said, yes, they will do it. It is the same culture. Whenever we go picnic, whenever we go camping, the youth go prepare the food. I get the parents telling me, can we make the food instead? I say no. And we are gonna eat the food regardless of how it is gonna look like. If you are coming here to eat a 5-star food, this is not the right location. But if you are coming to invest in the learning experience of those youth, this is the right location. Let them burn the burgers. Let them do mistakes. But they are gonna be the best. My youth, few months ago, they stood in the fundraiser. By the mercy of Allah, they fundraised 375K, and this was done by the youth. no adult intervention. We are preparing them for the coming mission they need to carry. Did they do mistakes? Yes, they did a lot of mistakes while they were fundraising, which is okay. And sometimes I hear the news keep kind of going everywhere and comes back to me. The youth were rude when they were asking for the money. Yes, they did mistakes when they were asking for the money. You have seen them standing, saying something that may not be the best, but you did not see me gathering them after the fundraiser, yelling at them, correcting each one of them so that they learn. The argument that many of the parents would make, those youth in this organization, they made a mistake, so the organization must be bad. The same thing. We have application number 1, we have application number 2. Application number 1 is tested, so we know the problems. Application number 2 is not tested. We don't know the problems. This is the same thing. The youth who stood up to do the mission, they are the ones who are tested. They are the ones who are expected to do mistakes. And those are the ones who are going to be corrected. And those are the ones who are going to learn. The youth who are doing nothing, they are not tested. We don't know how they look like. We need to understand, the youth who come and carry the flag, they are a representative sample of the entire population. So if they do a mistake, most likely other youth are going to do the same mistake or even worse. But those are tested, and those people are not tested. Two weeks ago, and by the mercy of Allah, with this fundraiser, we were able to get the land, 15-acre land that we envision to be the home for the youth. By the mercy of Allah, we have many masjids. We have a lot of masjids, but we are not getting this land to be another masjid. It is to be for the activities of the youth. When we got 15 acres, it was not to be another masjid. You need soccer fields, you need basketball courts, you need volleyball, you need to attract the youth. And whenever it is the time for salah, we will do salah, and we will teach them the deen while they are playing, not praying, while they are playing, while they are eating, while they are interacting with each other. Allah blessed us with a piece of land that is 15 acre by the mercy of Allah, then by the generous support of everybody. And I want to share one small story that happened 2 or 3 weeks ago. One of the brothers, he used to live in the area, but then he moved out to another state. And when I was fundraising for this project, I used to send messages to everybody. 3 weeks ago, a man called me and he is telling me, I apologize, I am sorry, I cannot, or I was not able to support your project financially. I wish I could, but really I cannot. My balance in my bank account is in the negative. And because I'm close to that person, he started to share his story with me. That person, he's a doctor, and he makes a lot of money from his job. But he sold the 2 houses. He owned the 2 houses. And now he is renting an apartment to live. And he's paying all his salary. To the degree his balance in his bank account in the negative. And he cannot donate to my project. And he's telling me, you know, my goal in life is to fight atheism among the coming generations. So I have been paying to arrange for those conferences. I have been paying to make books. I have been paying to make videos. I have been paying to build a center to fight atheism. He is telling me I sold 2 houses and I'm giving all my salary. I'm even taking loans from people so that I support my work against atheism. This is why I'm sorry. I cannot support your project. And then he told me an ayah. As if wallahi I'm listening to this ayah for the first time. He told me the ayah that has made him, this ayah made him sell 2 houses and give all his salary in donations. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إن كثيرا من الأحبار والرهبان ليصدون عن سبيل الله لا يأكلون أموال الناس بالباطل ويصدون عن سبيل الله. Oh, you who believe, many of the rabbis and the priests from the Jews and the Christians, they eat the money of the people without right, and they are turning people away from the path of Allah. So the ayah starts by talking about the Jews and the Christian leaders, rabbi and priests, who are turning people away from the path of Allah. Then the ayah is talking about us. والذين يكنزون الذهب والفضة ولا ينفقونها في سبيل الله. And those who are accumulating gold and silver and they are not spending that for the sake of Allah. فبشرهم بعذاب أليم. Give them the news that they are going to face severe punishment. يوم يحمى عليها في نار جهنم. That gold, silver, money, it will be heated in the fire of Jahannam. Then it is going to be used to burn فتكوى بها جباههم وجنوبهم وظهورهم. This money is going to be used to burn their forehead, their sides, and their back. This ayah, he told me, made me give all my money. And he asked me to share this ayah with as many people as I can. People need to give for the sake of Allah. And that man was calling me and he said, I'm sorry. I wish I had any money to support your project, but I cannot. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لي ولكم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. This phone call, it was about 3 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, the same person called me again, and he told me, I have been working against atheism for many years. I came to a conclusion, and this conclusion is not only his conclusion. He has been working with researchers in sociology, psychology, everything. He has been arranging for many conferences. He has been doing the science to understand what is the reason of atheism. And then he told me our conclusion. If you would like to protect your youth from atheism when they grow up, do not make organizations like me that is gonna talk to the youth at an old age. It's too late. It has to start from a young age. And whatever needs to start from a young age is not to teach them their deen. This is not enough. This is required, but this is not enough. If you would like to make sure you are protecting your kids from atheism, they have to be active community members from a young age. They have to be leaders. They have to help in the planning, in the organization of whatever Muslim events are going on. So just teaching them the deen is not enough. They need to learn the deen, and they need to apply the deen. Whenever we go in a picnic, They need to be the ones who are cooking. You can give them 100 halaqa on how to prepare food, and they are all gonna be useless if they do not stand up, cook with their hands. This is by the mercy of Allah what we have been doing for years. And I'm coming today to make a request. And today, inshallah, after the salah, I'm gonna be fundraising for something that I would assume no one made a similar fundraiser or made a fundraiser for a similar reason before. My fundraiser is not to build or to make walls. No, this fundraiser is for something else. I don't need someone to come and build the land for the youth. I would be putting them on a failure trajectory if I bring someone to build the land for them. I am clear. You, the youth, you have to build the land by your hands. Adults are more than welcome to come, teach, supervise the youth how to do the job. And there is one of the brothers who is sitting here in this Jumu'ah listening to me, but he prefers to be not mentioned during the khutbah. He comes every week to teach the youth how to do things, and the youth are building by their hands. I'm not accepting to bring contractors to build everything. We are building a generation before we are building the walls. And this is why I'm coming today to fundraise for an equipment so that the youth will use to build. Believe it or not, my goal over here, and this is what we need in the land in an urgent way, we need a tractor. Yes, a tractor. The youth, they have been working for a few weeks by their hands. They got enormous experience. This is the time for them to scale, and it is our job to financially support them. Yes, I am fundraising for a tractor the youth will use to build the land. This is my goal. Today, I'm asking Allah that puts the barakah in whatever in the money ask we are going to make after the Jumu'ah. There are some youth representatives here with me on the men's side and even on the ladies' side. They are going to be standing after the salah with the donation boxes, with credit card machines or whatever. They are targeting 17K so that they get the tractor so that they will use it to build the land. We are coming and we are planning to stay over here. My request, and for sure for those who care for the coming generations, whether you are donating or not, this is not the issue. But if you care, as long as we finish the salah, do not leave. We all have work. We all have commitments. They have their schools. I have my work. But we are coming for the sake of Allah. We are coming to stay. Whether you are donating or not, at least show Allah that you care. Show Allah that I understand. Those bunch of youth, they have a problem. They are in need of 17K. As a group, whether you are donating, whether you are gonna call somebody to donate, make sure you let them know, I am part of your problem. I am not gonna let you be the only ones carrying the problem. You came here to make the ask, and now the problem became the problem of the community. I am not gonna leave the masjid till I secure the 17K for you. And again, those 17K, it is not just the walls. It is not the tractor. It is investing in the generation who will be building. And we will see after the Jumu'ah, inshallah, those who are willing to stay, show Allah that we care for the coming generation. The same way the people before us came and conveyed the message to us, we are sitting over here till we solve their problem. May Allah put the barakah in the coming generation. One final comment. Do not assume that whenever I come and say I'm fundraising for the youth of the Tamkeen organization, do not assume as a father I have no problems with my kids. With my own kids, I have the same problems that you have with your kids. And do not say, but this is far away group, they are not here, why should I donate? 2 points I want to mention. We are not far away. And some of the people who are listening to me over here, who live over here or even live further to the south, they drive for 1 hour each way to come and bring their kids. And the second point, we know that whenever you make dua to your brother, Allah brings an angels to make dua for you. So whether you have kids over there or not, whenever I am investing in the youth of the Muslim community, I am telling Allah, oh Allah, maybe I cannot take care of my kids, but I'm doing whatever I can for the entire Muslim kids. And I'm leaving my own kids for you, Allah. Fix them. Do it with this intention. I am helping the Muslim youth. I am helping the Muslim Ummah, leaving my own family to Allah to fix my problems. اللهم اجعلنا مجتمعين على كلامك متحابين في جلالك وأظلنا بظل عرشك يوم لا ظل إلا ظلك واغفر اللهم للمسلمين والمسلمات المؤمنين والمؤمنات الأحياء منهم والأموات إنك يا ربنا سميع قريب مجيب الدعوات سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين أقم الصلاة يرحمك الله.